This week, I think we'll do something just a little bit different. I'm going to get rid of this sidebar, and I'm just going to show the overhead, the normal camera view and the overhead camera view. Will expand to the full screen for you. Lately, I feel like my play has been suffering because of poor end patterns. So I'm trying to think about that and adjust. And I think I'm not making real good decisions. I'm not making good choices, or at least committing to my choices. So I'm trying to think about that a little bit more and incorporate that into my game and get a little more specific on those end patterns. This rack is a good example of that. So let's take a look. Pretty standard break shot. I've checked the angle, and I'm hitting the rack ball full. So this is just firm below center, no English. And I'm surprised that the cue ball went low to the side rail. I thought it would stun to this way, but this is a great result. And so if you notice, I'm using my feet. I'm walking around. At least I hope I am. I don't have a great shot to start right here. And so the first thing I'm thinking is just, man, how am I going to... The 11-9 kind of tied up. I would normally have an easy shot this way. So I'm looking at my options. And I've got two shots that are pretty direct, but they're both long and difficult. That's the 2-ball and the 1-ball. And you really don't want to be trying to take one of those shots on in a game of straight pool. The other shot that I have is the 12-ball in the side, and that's a close shot. I'm close to the ball, and I can be pretty accurate striking it, and I can make it. I don't like shooting that because that's the only ball on the table that could be a break ball. The only other shot I might have is a really thin cut on the 10, and I can't control the cue ball. So I finally come around to the fact that I've got to shoot this 12. It's going to be a little bit hard to control the cue ball, but I think that the cue ball is going to hit the 8. So I should have a shot on the 8 or a shot on something else. This is just make the ball, keep the run going. I'm not playing a whole lot of position here because this is a pretty thin cut. If you look at the overhead view, that's a pretty shallow angle to be coming into the side pocket. But like I said, straight pool players shoot at the side pockets more often than other games, and I'm close to the ball. I'm right on it, so I'm confident that I'm gonna put that ball down. Now I can start doing rack analysis and thinking about what I'm going to do. The only issue with this rack is right here, this 11 and 9 ball. I need to get those open, and I want to do it in a way that has the least amount of risk. I'm seeing getting a shot on the 10 ball from this side will let me go to the rail and bump the 11 or bump the 9, and I should be able to do it in a way that gets a shot on the other ball in so doing. In order to do that, I need a shot on this 15 probably to get my cue ball over here. At least that's what I'm looking at right now. And I don't see a good way to do that. So I'm looking at my options. So the other thing I see is that I've got an up table ball. So I'm probably going to shoot the 1 ball here. When do you want to shoot that? And I end up shooting it late for various reasons, but it's not a mistake to play position for this 1 ball early because you can use the 7 ball to come back down table. I call this type of shot a shot near the rail, the side rail. That ball's easy to find. That means no matter what angle I get on this 1 ball, I can go this way, I can go this way. It's easy to find. It's easy to get position from this up table ball to the 7. So if you choose to do that, that's going to change your pattern dramatically. But I choose not to do that because I don't have a great break ball and because I'm trying to deal with this 11-9. So if you look at the overhead, you might be able to tell the angle. It's harder to tell on the front view. But I'm also thinking about what's my break ball, because if I don't use, because the only shot I really have is this 9, and it's pretty high and outside. So I noticed that I could shoot the 5, bump the 14 over, and I was hoping I would get a shot on this 15. So I was accomplishing a lot, or attempting to accomplish a lot with that shot. If the cue ball had come over here, I would have a shot on the 15 to deal with these balls. That didn't happen. So now I'm walking around taking a look at what am I going to do here, because I want to deal with these balls in a safe way. I've successfully made a break ball with this 14. I'm marking up the overhead view right at the moment, but I'm trying to figure out a way to get over here. I notice eventually that there's a gap now between the 14 and the 6 to get at this 15. Okay, maybe I can use that because I've got to get rid of the 8. It's blocking the pocket for the 13 and the 3. So I need to shoot the 8. So why don't I shoot the 8 and come out here and try and get this window? If I don't get that window on the 15, I'm going to have the 9. So the theme of this week's rack of the week is choose and commit. So I'm leaving I've got options here. I'm committing to getting this. I'm trying to get this window. And so I'm really picking my angle that I'm coming out of here, knowing that if I don't get it, I'll have a shot on the 13. So that's just one example. Walking around and looking. It's not something you're happy to do because, frankly, it's pretty difficult to play that speed control from this rail getting between these balls to try and get this angle. It's pretty tough. But I'm committing to that and really give it my best shot. Not too bad. Came a little too far. I'm not going to shoot the 14 because that's my break ball. I think I can find another way. This is tough, though, because that 15 is a blocker ball. So I'm looking at it, and I'm going to do the same thing. 9 ball, come between here, try and get this window, knowing I'm going to have the 3 if I don't get it. And obviously, I hit that really bad. It's okay. I've got options. I could shoot the 2 ball from here. Now I'm also thinking a little bit further into the rack because this 2 ball is above my break shot. That could very easily become a key ball. Same thing. Let's get position on this window, knowing I can shoot the 2 or the 3 if I don't get it. This time, third time's the charm, I got the window. I've got a shot on the 15. So don't just bend over and shoot. Walk over and look. That's another thing I'm trying to do a lot more of. I don't want to be a statue. Okay, so I go over and look. I don't quite, if we look at the overhead, I don't quite have, I'm not quite straight. So I could follow to the bottom rail and up and try and get an angle, probably above the 10. Right? Like I said earlier, I can go to the rail and bump one of these balls. But I'm looking at it, and I realize I'm pretty shallow, and I can just draw the cue ball straight into the 11. And I like that better. I think that's lower risk, because if I hit the high side of the 11, I'm going to knock the 11 here. Cue ball will probably go up here, and I'll have a shot on the 10. If I hit the low side of the 11, then I'm probably going to hit the 10. The 11 will go this way. Cue ball will go this way, 10 will go this way, I'll have a shot on the 10. I think and other things could happen as well, but I like that opportunity much better than trying to go to the bottom rail, because a lot of times you could go to the bottom rail, maybe click to the 9, and the cue ball goes this way, and now you have a backwards cut on the 11, and you can't control the cue ball. So I really like this a lot better, and this can come out favorable a lot more often than the shot on the 10. So there we go. And this came out fantastic. I have a shot on the 10 and the 11. And here's where the lesson comes in again on choosing your angle and being, like I said in the intro, being more specific about your end pattern. Some people might choose, and I wouldn't argue with anyone if they decided, to go to the up table ball right now. You can shoot this 11 and go this way and get the 1. And then come down and develop an end pattern. There's 2 end patterns that I see here. One is using the 2 ball on the side, and you always look diagonal from the 2. So the 3 isn't in a great position, but you could use the 3 to get on the 2 in the side, or you could use a 9, an angle like this. You can go like this and come into the shot line for the 2. So that's one way. The other way is a pivot ball using the 6. So you might use the 3 ball to give you a slight angle on the 6 in this pocket, so you can just draw up here. Those are the 2 opportunities I see for an end pattern. And with either one, you can go up table and get the 1 ball, but now you don't have a great, you can either get the 1 ball early or get it late. If you get it early, you're coming back down table probably to the 3. So that means you might want to eliminate these and then go get the 1. You see what I'm saying? There's various ways to do this. What I decide to do, and criticize me if you want, but I see the 1 ball connecting to the 2. So I decide I want to get rid of all of these balls early and go 3-2 for my end pattern. And I like getting, this angle on the 1 ball so that I can cut it in the corner and bounce off the head rail and come straight at the 3, because you don't want an angle on this 3. You want to be able to just draw back, stop, or draw back a little bit. Or if you do want an angle, you want to be on this side, so you can just go to the rail and then come into the shot line for the 2 in the side. The point is, I'm not just saying, oh, let me clear these balls. And, I'm making all those decisions right now. And because of that, I realize that what I want to do, what I end up deciding I want to do is using the 9 ball as a key ball for the 11, because I want to bring the cue ball straight up table to the 1 off from the 11. So that informs me that I want to shoot the 10 now and go to the 6, because these connect. Stop shot, boom, you're on the 11. See that? So that's the reason why I chose that end pattern. I've got real minimal cue ball movement to close out these balls. I didn't have a stop shot. I went to the bottom rail, but I made sure to get above the 9 so I can get that angle that I want. Now, the theme of this rack of the week is choose and commit. And this is what I make a mistake here, because I didn't do that. I just went through my decision making. I'm going to come straight up here. I shot the 9, and look what I did. I'm still standing over here behind the 11. I'm not choosing what angle I want on the 1. I'm supposed to walk over here and look at the 1. Here's the shot line to the 1. Now you can decide, do I want to be on this side of the shot line or on this side? Either one will work, but I just mentioned earlier, I want to be on this side so that I can shoot the 1, bounce off the rail, and come straight at the 3. But I'm failing to make that decision. I'm not choosing. When you fail to choose, when you fail to decide, you still made a choice. So the choice I've made is, let's go straight up table and get on the 1 ball. And that's super easy. I do that. I come up table and get a shot on the 1 ball. And I end up straight in because I didn't walk over here and choose. That's the lesson. That shot is the main reason why I'm showing this rack for this rack of the week. So it's because of that I don't have an angle to get straight on the 3, which is what I need. This isn't a super minimal cue ball movement type of end pattern. I've got to get right on this ball. So I end up having to cheat the pocket and draw the cue ball back because I don't want to be too far away. And I was hoping to draw the cue ball back on this line, but I couldn't cheat it enough. So now I have an angle on the 3. I have the wrong angle on the 3 to get on the 2 ball. From here, it's recovery mode, which is what I'm trying to avoid in my end patterns. So you can see how important it is to really make firm choices. And in order to do that, you can't be the statue. You got to walk around and look. Okay, from here, I've got 2 options. One is simply shoot the 3 and draw the cue ball over to here. Because if I can get close to straight in on the 2 up in the upper corner, I'm going to be able to manufacture or, bring the cue ball to a good angle on the 14 ball break shot. I decided to go the other route, which is, because it lays naturally, bottom rail, side rail. I know if I come off the side rail, I'm going to have a distance here where I can stop the cue ball, and I'll be able to hold the cue ball on the 2 ball on the side. A lot of cue ball movement on there. I think a lot of people would choose to shoot the 2 ball in the upper corner for the reason that it's less cue ball movement to simply stun over here. So I'm still in recovery mode because I came too far. So you can see how impactful it is if you don't make firm choices along the way about what angle you're trying to achieve and committing to that angle. From here, I have 3 choices. I can try and pinch the 2 ball in the side with a whole lot of right English and draw and try and kind of do a little soft little boop and bring the cue ball over here. And I decide I have too much angle for that. The other shot I have is kind of the same shot, but instead of cutting the 2, bank the 2 ball because it's pretty straight. And that's a very easy bank to make. But you've got to spin it, and same thing, just kind of do a little soft draw over to here. And I almost chose that because it's minimal cue ball movement, but I just don't want to play the bank. You play it softly, you might not get a true, rebound angle off that rail. So I decide, and now I'm going to walk over and look because if I cut the 3 ball on the side and let the cue ball move, I've got 2 choices. I can let the cue ball take its natural angle here and spin it back this way. That's what I'm looking at. Don't like that. So I'm gonna cut it in with a lot of left English, and it's gonna curve a little, but I want the cue ball to go to this rail and get that spin to go to the rail and up here for the angle on the break shot. And I hit it pretty good. You see how much that cue ball curved? It deflected this way and then curved around the 14. That is absolutely not the kind of shot you want to be shooting for your cue ball. But it's what I had to do because 4 shots earlier, I didn't commit to the angle that I needed on this one ball. If I had done that, I would have had an easy route to my break shot. So that's why it's so important. I'm going to show the break shot into the next rack as I always do. I'm following the cue ball. I know the cue ball is going to go to the bottom rail, and I want to come 2 rails out to center table. So I'm taking some speed off from what I normally do, but I still overcooked it. Cue ball came way too far up table. See, if the cue ball had stopped here, I've got a shot on the 6 or the 3 or the 7 back this way. So a little bit too hard on that shot still, as I mentioned last week. I'll show the next shot just because I don't have a direct shot. I've got to go rail first. I'm not sure where the cue ball is going to go, but this is same thing as the first shot of this previous rack. Make the ball and then evaluate from there. So rail first, cue ball hits the 5, got a shot on the 5. I'm in good shape to keep the run going. Hope that made sense. I know I've talked about this topic on previous racks of the week, but I'm really committing to it. I'm choosing to be more cognizant of this and make better decisions because I feel like, as I said in the intro, my end patterns have been lacking. I've had pretty terrible end patterns with a lot of cue ball movement lately, and that might be one of the things that I really need to improve if I'm going to make it to a 200 ball straight pool run before I get much older. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Remember, you're going to play straight pool, play it straight, and we'll see you next week on Rack of the Week. Bye.